Hey guys, it's Alex on the block, and today I'll be sharing with you the books that I am most excited for this year, starting the decade with a lot of great books. So yeah, let's jump right on it. So for the purpose of this video, I just limited it to the top 20 books that I want to read this year. So the first book is Burn Our Bodies Down by Rory Power, and basically it's about this girl, Margot. This girl Margot, who's been with her mother all her life, and she wanted to have a family. She wanted something more. So she saw this photograph which pointed her to the direction of Faline or Faline. I don't really know, but anyway, she goes there, and then she discovers that her mother left that family for a reason, and it kind of feels like a mystery, like a thriller kind of book, and it sounds really good. So the next one is actually a sequel of a series that I haven't heard before, which is The Damned. This is the second book of the beautiful series by Renee Ahdieh. So anyway, this is set in 1872 New Orleans, when the city was run by the dead. Kind of like that. Anyway, so it's also kind of like a crime thriller kind of book, and I haven't really read a lot about The Damned yet, since I haven't read the first book, but yeah, it's kind of like a crime and thriller book. And I believe this is also about vampires. I'm not sure, but I just heard vampires and I was sold, girl. So the next one is The Song Below Water by Bethany Murrow. So this is about Tavia, who is a siren, and in this book, sirens keep their identities hidden because they're kind of like haunted, I guess, for being a siren. And anyway, in this book, there is a murder trial for sirens which rocks the nation, and it just sounds like such a great book. I don't know how it will play out, but I really want to read it. So the next one is Cemetery Boys by Aidan Thomas, and it's basically about this guy who wants to prove himself to his family, so he summons the ghost of his murdered cousin, but he ends up summoning Julian Diaz, who is the school's resident bad boy. So anyway, Julian doesn't want to go back easily, so he wants to tie up some loose ends before he goes back to being dead. But throughout the story, Julian and the main character, I feel like they fall in love, and yeah, it just sounds like such a great story. And oh my gosh, the the cover is also amazing. Plus points. The next one is Felix Ever After. So this is a book by Kaysen Allender. Again, the pronunciation, I'm not sure, but yeah. So this is a book about a transgender teen who deals with an issue that arises throughout the book. So in the book, the main character receives transphobic messages, and then his transition photos were revealed. So it's just about him navigating his new life as a transgender teen while dealing with falling in love as well. And it just sounds like a heartfelt and cute book. And I haven't really read a book about transgender before, so this is such a great book for me to read this year. I feel like this would help me understand them more and help me support them more. So yeah. So next is A Phoenix Must Burn. So this is an anthology book. So it has 16 tales about Black women and gender non-conforming individuals. So it says here that it's filled with stories of love and betrayal, strength and resistance. This collection contains an array of complex and true-to-life characters in which you cannot help but see yourself reflected. So this also has witches and scientists, sisters and lovers, priestesses and rebels. So the heroines of a phoenix, the heroines of the The heroines. Oh my god, why can't I pronounce it?
The heroines. Heroines.
So the heroines of a phoenix first must burn, shine brightly. You will never forget them. And it just sounds like such an awesome book. I'm excited. And also the cover. The cover is so beautiful. So the next one is a book by Queen S.J. Maas, and it is House of Earth and Blood, which is the first book of the Crescent City series, I believe. So it follows Bryce Quinlan, whose friends were murdered by a demon, and then the investigation goes along and she gets entangled in that investigation, and she just wants to do everything that she can to avenge the death of her friends. So this also has a character who's a fallen angel, and oh my god, is 2020 the year that we finally bring back the tropes, the themes of my high school years? Because literally in my high school years, we had fallen angels, we had fairies, we had vampires, and then we had dystopian novels like Hunger Games, Divergent. Yeah, but anyway, I feel like this is the first fallen angel book or angel book that I've encountered that feels like such a good book. And oh my god, it just brings me back to the age of fallen. Hush hush. Whew, whew, whew. So the next one is Witches of Ash and Ruin by E. Latimer, and it says here that it's modern witchcraft blends with ancient Celtic mythology in an epic clash of witches and gods, perfect for fans of V. Schwab's Shades of Magic trilogy and the discovery of witches. So I'm a sucker for witchy books, so I read Witches in the title and I was just like, sold, bitch. Anyway, so again, this is a crime type of book. So it's about the Butcher of Manchester, who is an infamous serial killer whose trail has long gone cold. The killer's motives are enmeshed in a complex web of witches and gods, and Dana and Maynard soon find themselves at the center of it all. If they don't stop the butcher, one of them will be next. And it just sounds so good, and I'm excited to read that. The next one is a contemporary book, which is Yes, No, Maybe So by Becky Alberti and Aisha Said. Pronunciation. Yeah. So it's about two people. So the first one is Jamie Goldberg, who volunteers for his local senator's campaign, something like that. And he has trouble communicating with strangers. And the next one is Maya Rehman, I'm not sure again. So Maya is a Muslim and she's having the worst Ramadan ever. So her summer trip was cancelled and her parents decided that she should go volunteer to the Senate campaign as well. So they go door to door together, and it just says here that mastering local activism is one thing, navigating the cross-cultural romance of the century is another thing entirely. And it just sounds like such a great book. Again, I'm excited to read this one. I feel like I'm saying this for all the books, but of course I'm excited about all of them. But yeah. So the next one is Tweet Cute by Emma Lord, and oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this book. So it's about Pepper and Jack. So they have like a thing going on, and then their spat turns into like a viral Twitter war. But little do they know that they're already falling for each other in an anonymous chat app that Jack built. Anyway, so yeah, I'm really excited for Tweet Cute. So the next book is one of the books that I am most excited about. So like, if this is the top 20 books, this is probably at like top 2 or like top 5. This is Goddess in the Machine. Goddess in the Machine number 1. So this is by Laura Beth Johnson, and the cover. Whew. So anyway, so Andra is a girl who went into cryogenic sleep, and then when she woke up, people were calling her goddess or whatever. So she woke up later than was planned for her to wake up. Anyway, so then comes Zaid, who is the exiled bastard prince of Erensed, and basically he needs Andra to play the part of the goddess so he can get his rightful claim to the throne. So it just sounds super good. It sounds like an Aurora Rising book meets, I don't know. But yeah, it sounds like Aurora Rising, and I loved Aurora Rising, and oh my gosh, I'm excited. So the next one is Blood and Honey, which is the second book of the Serpent and Dove series. So this is by Shelby Maherin, and I won't talk about this much because it's the second book, and some of you may not have read Serpent and Dove, but it's one of my favorite books for 2019. So you can just head there, and I'll be talking about Serpent and Dove if you're interested. But I really recommend that everyone read this book. Yes, I loved it. And then the next book is Mary Lou's new book, which is The Kingdom of Back. So this follows a musical prodigy and the dangerous lengths she'll go to make history remember her. So essentially, Nannerl Mozart is Wolfgang Mozart's younger sister, and her father doesn't want her to compose songs until she's old enough to marry. And yeah, because it's like 18th century Europe, and the patriarchy is like fucking toxic. Like, what the fuck? Anyway, so a stranger from a magical land presents her with an opportunity to become the best she is. So I feel like she takes that opportunity and she comes to the Kingdom of Back, and I don't know. It just sounds so good, and I feel like it's such a different book from all the other books that I put in this list. So yeah, I'm very excited about this one. And then the next one is The Gravity of Us by Phil Stamper. So this is an LGBTQ book, and it follows Cal, who is a successful social media journalist with 500,000 followers. But then his father was sent to a highly publicized NASA expedition, so he moves from his home to Houston, Texas with his family, and there he meets Leon and they fall in love, and it's just, I don't know, it feels like such a cute book, such a light-hearted book, but I may be wrong. Maybe it's a dramatic book that'll make me cry. But yeah, I also love the cover of this book. So the next one is The Gilded Ones, which is the first book of the Deathless series, and it's a feminist fantasy, West African inspired feminist fantasy, and it just sounds so good. I feel like I'm going to get to know more about West African culture and mythology, I think. So this follows Decca, who is a 16-year-old girl, and basically in her village they have this kind of like a blood ceremony. So if you have red blood, you can be part of the village, but if you have different blood, you'll be exiled, I think. And for Decca, she has gold blood, so she was presented by a choice: either she leaves the village, or either she stays in the village and submits to her fate, or she can go to the emperor, who has like this troop of girls who have special powers. something like that. And then the next one is Aurora Burning, which is the second book of the Aurora Rising series. So yeah, I'm not going to talk about this book, but I actually talked about Aurora Rising also in my favorites video, so just check it out so you can hear my thoughts about Aurora Rising. So the next one is also a sequel to a series, and it's The Tower of Nero. It's the fifth book in the Trials of Apollo series, and yeah, basically it's about Apollo and how he became a human. Yeah, and it's really funny, and if you like Rick Riordan's works, you should definitely read Trials of Apollo. The next one is The Hand in the Wall, which is the third book in Truly Devious series, which is a crime mystery series that I love very much as well last year. So I'm also not going to talk about this book because I might spoil some of you, but I also talked about Truly Devious in another video, I believe. Yeah, I think it's in my favorites video as well. So yeah, check out my favorite video for more about Truly Devious. But yeah, all I can say is that even if The Hand in the Wall is the third book, there's still so many questions unanswered, and it just sounds like such an intense book, and I'm so excited about it. And then the last one is by Queen Cassandra Clare. Woo, classic Clare. Oh my God. Anyway, so this is the first book in the Last Hours trilogy, and it is set in Edwardian London. So it says here, welcome to Edwardian London, a time of electric lights and long shadows, the celebration of artistic beauty and the wild pursuit of pleasure, with demons waiting in the dark. So this is also a Shadowhunter book, so this is set in the Shadowhunter world as well, and the main character is James and Lucy Herondale, which are the children of the famous Will and Tessa. So Will and Tessa, if you don't know, is from the Infernal Devices trilogy. So yeah, so basically it's the Infernal Devices, and then this series, and then the Mortal Instrument series, and then the Dark Artifices series. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, I feel like that's the order of things. So anyway, it follows the siblings and their peaceful life, but it changes when the Blackthorn and Carstairs families arrive in London, as well as emergence of a plague. So it follows James Herondale and his love for Grace Blackthorn, and then Cordelia Carstairs is desperate to become a hero, save her family from ruin, and keep her secret love for James hidden. So it's a love triangle. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I have like a love-hate relationship with love triangles. Anyway, so those are the top 20 books that I am most excited for this 2020. And if you have your suggestions for me to read this 2020, you can definitely comment them down below. So if you also want some more information about the books that I talked about, I created a shelf in my Goodreads account. So it's the 2020 anticipated reads shelf in my Goodreads account, and it's at Alex and Foxes. So you can just maybe click it in the description box below if I remember to put it down there. But yeah, I hope you like this video. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more bookish videos and other videos.